Welcome to this episode of My Ramblings. Why won't people get vaccinated? You look at there's a lot of influences out there. I think 58% of the overall population is vaccinated, and 76 to 78% of those eligible for vaccination are fully vaccinated or at least have one shot. And with all this public campaigning and stuff, you wonder why, we're not close to 100%. Is there really that many people that are swayed by the anti-vax movement? I'm sure there's a lot of people that are firmly entrenched in those ideas and can't be swayed. How many people fall into the newfangled republicanism, I call it, about how this is about rights? I've got to ramble on how rights aren't absolute and how some guy thinking his right to shoot his gun throughout his neighborhood, I think he was chasing a criminal, actually interfered in the rights of some little girl not to get shot, and the rights of that family not to have their little girl taken away from them. But that's a whole different topic, where actually rights balance. Rights aren't absolute. They're balanced with the rights of everybody else in society. So, where was I? Vaccines. Oh yes, the newfangled republicanism about how people shouldn't get vaccinated, and they have a right to decide. Guess they have the right to decide. So there's probably, I don't guess. The government can't force you to get a vaccine, but they can force you to not bring your child to school. They're not thinking about individual students. They have to think about the whole collective. That's not communism. That's just society looking out after itself. So there's probably a good block who genuinely think that, well, I don't want to take the vaccination because I'm supporting my right not to. Who is anybody else to judge that? As long as, they're not affecting the rights of others to not be contaminated. And, there's probably a lot of people who are worried that, well, it's an emergency approval. I want to wait for the full approval. They don't want to be taking something experimental. And so an earlier ramble, it's not about trying to discourage people from getting vaccines. I got my vaccine. I became eligible in April, and so I got my first shot in April, and then my next shot sometime in May. So I'm vaccinated. But how many people out there that just aren't going to be swayed no matter what? Some Republicans change their mind or not, and whether or not, I think some of the vaccines have already gone beyond emergency approval. But how many, if you think about all these medical devices out there that weren't actually tested and effectively have affected people's lives, destroyed their lives, destroyed a family member's lives, or someone they know went through that. I just wonder what percentage block of people are actually have witnessed or have firsthand, secondhand knowledge of something like that happening. And just no matter what anybody says or does, they're not going to be swayed to take a vaccine from the FDA. And I just wonder if there's a cause and effect there. And that's the only way I bring it up. Come on, there's a reason why we're not even getting close to 100%. I can't believe everybody buys into the Fox News and newfangled republicanism. I can't believe there's a high enough percentage of people that are waiting for a full vaccine. There's probably a good 10-15% block of people in there. That's why that 76 of eligible vaccinated people isn't going up very fast. So anyway, I'm just throwing that out there because, something I really wonder about. All right, thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the ramble.